Sports Timeout Podcast with Jensen Maydew, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
Welcome to the Sports Timeout Podcast brought to you by Jefferson's Dollar Wings All March Madness. Get in and get that deal until April 8th. And then Robert's Integrative Dentistry in Joplin. If you're looking for a brighter, straighter smile, be sure to schedule your appointment today at 417-622-0404. Wes Underwood, Clint and Tony not in this week. Jensen's back and going to be joined by Jonas soon. But how are you?
I'm doing great. I really am. It's been really nice here in Houston. Very warm, so
it's better than all the tornadic activity up here that we keep enduring.
Yeah. I've been reading about
Yeah, the Carthage got hit pretty good yesterday, so that was fun. But well, on that note, before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe and follow button on YouTube. And first up, we talk NCAA March Madness, and we got the Final Four tonight and tomorrow. First up on the women's side, we have South Carolina and NC State, and then we have Iowa and UConn. So out of those matches, who you got going into the championship?
Definitely South Carolina.
Okay.
My bracket has South Carolina winning it all, so hopefully.
Nice.
But for the other game, I feel like that's more of a toss-up.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I think it will be closer than the LSU game, that's for sure.
I think so too. I think that they have similar styles, UConn and Iowa, like in how they play.
Yeah.
So
UConn's always up there, but Iowa's come in strong, and
yeah.
I really like Coach Gino there. So
yeah, I know it's gonna be hard. Honestly, I can kind of I think Iowa's been playing so well that like I might take Iowa over UConn.
But I can't go UConn or I can't go Iowa because just watching how she crumbled in the championship game last year with all that stress on her shoulders, she's going to have it again. And it's either going to be this game or it's going to be, I think if South Carolina makes it, South Carolina is going to put enough pressure on her. And I think that they get the job done. I see Iowa making it into the championship too. So UConn's going to put that task on them, but I see Iowa. As bad as that sounds for me anyway. I'm not a huge Clark fan just after all the drama this year. I was up on the train until she flopped like she did on that student, and then I was just like, I can't.
No, I agree. I think with Clark, like I respect her game and what she's doing for the sport. Yeah. She's great. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, I'm not like a huge diehard fan by any. I'm not gonna get a Clark shirt. So,
but out of all those, who wins the national championship out of that matchup for you?
Oh, for sure, South Carolina.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Without a doubt. And I think it would be so cool because they'll be undefeated.
Yeah.
And I really want that for Dawn. Like, I think
one loss last year and they barely missed the championship. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah. So they're back for revenge. I think they'll have it. I think they'll get it.
And then I'll give mine here in a second. Next up, we have a men's-sided NC State game, which is interesting because that's going to be one of my points here in a minute. But they get to go up against Purdue, and 11 seed, I guess, Cinderella story, right? But who you got there? NC State, Purdue.
I'm taking Purdue.
Okay.
Just I feel like they look good. I don't know. I think I don't know. At some point, I feel like Cinderella stories always end.
They do, as a champion, right?
I don't think so. not this time.
Okay. Purdue had a pretty decent game the other night, so we'll see. But
yeah.
And then we got UConn and Bama. Who you got?
I'm gonna go UConn.
Okay. And now those two teams who you have in the national championship.
UConn and Purdue. Um, I think I think I'm gonna pick Purdue. Only because I mean UConn just won it, so
Yeah. Okay.
that's the only reason. I think that they're both great teams. I think it'll be a great game. But
Fair enough.
Purdue.
All right. Here's my method behind it. So Division two, same college won in the men's and women's side, right? Mankato State.
True. Yeah.
All right. 40 years for that one to take place again. That's 1984 was the last time that happened in Division two. Division one was 10 years ago. And it was UConn men's and women's. And well, UConn men and women are in there, but I want to go the other way. And I want to be on the train of NC State on both sides. And I want that Cinderella story for the men. And then the women, I feel like, have played very well. And if anybody can upset South Carolina, I think they could right now, too, because the men have been the upset team. And maybe the women's side can ride that train going into this matchup. So I'm going out on a limb here and I'm going to say NC State because UConn's already done it. It'd be cool if they did it again. That'd be fun. But NC State to watch the Cinderella team and then NC State women beat South Carolina, I think that'd be fun. So, and then those would be my champions in each bracket because, yeah, it doesn't matter who they play in the Final Four. They're just going all the way and they're both going to win.
I wouldn't put money on that, but I respect your choice.
In the words of Russell Wilson, let's ride. But yeah, all right. There's our picks, and hope you all can interject your picks on our page, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, soon to be TikTok again. We're getting there, depending on what goes on there. There's a lot going on with TikTok right now, so I don't know. I haven't posted much there just because I don't know if it's going to be around anymore. So there's that. And yeah, well, next up we talk MLB and we talk the Royals, and after a week of baseball, all I can say is wow. The bats were dead for a couple games, but then they came to life. But not just that, the Royals did what I thought they would do, and the starting rotation has been phenomenal. In the first 37 and one-third innings pitched, they have produced 40 strikeouts, allowed 16 hits, 9 bases on ball, and then have a 1.74 ERA. The bullpen, however, has kind of been horrendous. I thought that we'd have a closer feel like we did back in 2014, 2015, but I mean, hello, Will Smith, you need to wake up, dude. Like, what's going on? But please make some moves, Royals, for the pin so we can win. You know, the old saying that we used to say to the pin to win. I mean, we're producing on offense. Our starting pitching is on fire. Now we just need to get some relievers in there and get some closers. And yeah, let's win now. I mean, we have the heart, we have the team. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Royals have a great, as I'm wearing like an Astros. Anyways, I think that the Royals have a good team. But you know, you can have good players, but you need to have, I love saying chemistry and I love saying experience.
Yeah.
S- I mean, you can have all the pieces, but sometimes they just don't go together.
And that's what's unfortunate right now. Like they legitimately have all the pieces and everything's meshing well and going well. And then once the eighth inning hits and you see that guy come out of the bullpen, it's like, huh, we don't have a chance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Next up, and now we welcome in Jonah. How are you, sir?
I can hear you guys now. I don't know what in the world was going on. I have a speaker or the microphone, and I guess the audio was shooting out to a microphone, however that works. So
Fair
it
enough.
should be golden now.
But yeah, well, we're gonna go ahead and introduce Jonah here and welcome into the show. And you ready to get going?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Well, next up, we're gonna talk NFL, and the big move heard this week is Diggs was traded from the Bills to the Texans. Jensen, before you get excited here, because I'm thinking the Bills with the off-season moves and releases, they might be in trouble. But yeah, how about those Texans? Do you like it living there? Yeah, I mean, you got to meet the quarterback last year and everything, but will it make a difference for them in the playoff push that they made this last season?
I mean, ever since it got announced, that's all everybody and anybody can talk about here. So I know that there's a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big name too. Like some of my friends that don't even watch football that live here, they're like, "Oh, we got Diggs." I'm like, "Do you even know who that is?" Like, but just because they know the big name. So,
Yeah.
I think it's nice because it'll bring even more media to the Texans, and I feel like we got a lot more exposure last year. We did a lot better, so I think it's a good move. I mean, just the excitement around the Texans here, just the buzz and the energy, I think alone
So
will
you're
help.
gonna go to training camp, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm not that diehard.
Oh, so you'll get a shirt.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't own a Texan shirt because I just feel bad
Well,
because of the Chiefs.
I'm sure
So
you can dig it.
you were acting like a real dad.
Bam. Jonah, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, I never would have expected the Texans to make such a big move. I mean, they've already got Tank Dell and Nico Collins
Yeah.
like that is already great pieces around CJ Stroud, who obviously is going to be an outstanding quarterback coming out. But you pick up Joe Mixon, you throw that in the mix as well, add that into with now picking up Stephon Diggs. I mean, the 2-year turnaround this team has had is something you don't really see much anymore, especially with how the NFL and trading and free agency has been going. I mean, these days you can get a star player with a second round pick or with a third round pick, and it's crazy the player evaluation and how much they're worth anymore. But
Yeah.
I mean, not only do you get Stephon Diggs, you get a 5th round pick and a 6th round pick out of it. Like you also get a little bit more future with an all-star wide receiver. I mean, it's a great pickup for them. Obviously, the Bills are needing time to reset. It looks like it's just not their time just yet. Maybe they just understand that with losing as many players as they've given up lately, that it's just, maybe not their time. And it's a good time to kind of get some compensation for what they have. And,
Yeah.
who knows what that's going to look like. But the Texans, man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be enjoyable to watch. I mean, because, everybody looked at them as a down team, but now that they got, a star quarterback and they've got all the pieces they really need around him, like Dalton Schultz is a great tight end as well. Like they got pieces, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun puzzle to be watching be put together this year because I mean, the only thing is I just don't know. Like they proved last year that maybe it might be the missing piece on offense, but they had a pretty good offense going into the playoffs last year and they turned some heads, but I
Right.
don't know if that's still what they need or if they need to go a little bit more defense, but we'll see. We'll see. Draft is still coming, so.
For sure.
But next up in the NFL, we talk another incident in Texas, and that's with Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice. The dude was caught in an accident as his car was racing. Lambos in Texas just kind of stick out a little bit when you're on a freeway or on a freeway racing. I mean, yeah. Then they flee from the cars after the scene has been set, and the next day he turns himself in after the APP is released, and then, yeah, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts here? Does he get suspended or does he get to play next season? I mean, also, Chiefs fans, don't worry, this hasn't changed anything on the draft front as of now. So, but yeah, suspended, get to play. Jonah, we'll start you.
I mean, I'm going to say suspended just because the NFL has been trying to break down quite a bit on a lot of issues that's been going around the league. I mean, depending on how long the suspension is going to last, I don't know. I feel like more than anything, it just hurts that, you had such a rookie talent last year who came out and had a really good season. And, it just, people just can't act right. You racing down a freeway in Texas, Corvette versus a Lambo, and I get it.
Yeah.
It sounds fun, in a dream world, I'd love to do it too. But in real life, when you're an NFL wide receiver who's got a promising future with a 2-time champ, like back-to-back champion team, like it's a tough loss for them, regardless if they are playing next year, or regardless if he is suspended or not. Like it's going to be a learning curve for him, and who knows what it could affect his play style with how much, touches he gets as wide receiver. Because I mean, if you can't outperform for probably the best team in the NFL, then it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Jensen, anything to add?
I think Jonah did a great job, but I think that I don't I think that it'll only be like one game. Like I
Okay.
don't think that they're gonna like really, really crack down on him. Only because of like everything that Jonah was saying. Like I think that the league wants to have him play and wants that, everything's about money, everything's about media.
Yeah,
So I think it'll hurt them if they keep him out long.
fair enough. Fair enough. I agree. Both sides there. Well done. Well done. And on that note, we go ahead and shift into the NBA. And we talk playing games yet again. And now we have 6 games left for most teams going into tonight. And we will talk the playing games. So, looking at the records, I mean, only teams to clinch thus far have been Chicago and Boston in the East. Boston obviously getting the top seed, and Chicago has clinched their spot into the play-in game. And then over in the West, I mean, Denver, Minnesota, Oklahoma City all clinched berths this week. And yeah, I mean, going back to the East, do the Bulls and the Hawks stay where they're at? Or is everyone so close that they could just kind of like, I don't know, swap spots? Chicago move up maybe 1, Atlanta move up maybe 2. I don't know. 6 games left. It's doable for those guys, but I mean, and then in the other side there, the West, everyone is so close in the play-in side. Technically, everyone from the 5th seed down to the 9 seed. I mean, they're all still contending for those spots through tonight. And after tonight, we can see a little bit more of a clearer picture of the NBA playoffs. But what are your all thoughts here? Jensen, will go you and then Jonah next.
Yeah, as far I know more about Western Conference. As far as far as all of the playing games, it's been like so exciting. Um, I hope that the Rockets will get up there, but who knows? Um, I think that
Okay.
I think the Warriors will be in for sure. Um, honestly, if I don't
That's
know,
going to
it's
be
so
tough
hard.
because the Lakers would have to leave.
I know, but I don't like the Lakers, so I don't know if this is more of a opinion versus real life.
Well, that might be opinion at the moment. Because, I mean, Lakers are up on Golden State, and if the Rockets get in right now, they're going to be passing the Warriors. So,
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. This is a hard question. Jonah,
No,
you're
it's
yeah, go.
definitely tough. Like it has to be with consistency, especially coming down to the end of the year. Like who can be consistent and get these final wins, especially because a lot of people are injured, or like teams that are getting clinched, you're playing against teams that are going to be sitting guys. Like, I'm a big Thunder fan, and we're sitting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams, 2 of our best players, just because even though it's a minor strain or it could be a quad, like you got to make sure that the playoffs are what's important now. If you get a 1 seed or a 3 seed, it doesn't change the fact that you still got to go and win a 7-game series, and you need to have your players at full health. And so
Yeah.
in the East, especially, like it's so close, and the teams have been so inconsistent around that 8 through 10 spot that
Yeah.
there's no telling. You could get literally any picture. And it's like at the same time, you want to say the Eastern Conference is super easy, and you want to see, because compared to the Western Conference this year, it's almost no competition unless you're like Boston.
I mean,
But
12-game lead there. Good grief.
oh yeah, Boston is one team that's just unreal right now. But at the same time, we saw last year that you can't count out a playoff team. You can't count out a play-in team. I mean, you have the Heat come from the 10 seed all the way up to the NBA Finals. So I mean, there's just no there's
And they're
no
back.
yeah, there's no guarantee that but in the West, it's gonna be a lot of fun, particularly the West, because I mean, yeah, of course, you got the Nuggets, Thunder, Timberwolves all having outstanding seasons, already 50+ win seasons. And they're going to be a tough play against, but at the same time, you could have whoever comes out of the play-in, whether that be the Warriors, the Suns, the Lakers, the Rockets, they all have beaten all of those teams like at some point or another. And in a 7-game series, will it pull out? Are you going to be able to beat a young Thunder team who maybe has only has maybe combined 4 years of NBA playoffs history? How's that going to look? Of course, the Nuggets probably are the favorite in the West, regardless if they finish 1 through 3, because last season everybody's going absolutely crazy for them, and they absolutely so. Jokic is a once in a lifetime generational player.
Yeah.
Timberwolves questionable. Who knows? Because they've always had that push to get to the top of the seed, but they just can't seem to put it together when it gets playoff time.
True.
And it's gonna be a lot of fun whenever it comes down to it. I think that it's gonna be some fun NBA playoff basketball, regardless of who makes it, because even if you have the Warriors break an 8 or 7 seed, the Warriors have always found a way to get it done. I mean, of course, you can never count out LeBron James, so it's like you have no idea what to expect.
Very true. Well said. Yeah. Well said. Next in the NBA, we go ahead and talk Rondo retirement, and after 15 seasons, well done. Good job. Right. We'll go ahead and switch that over to the Embiid return for Philly after his surgery. And I mean, the dude's saying that the mental recovery process has been very difficult this time around for him. He's still not where he's supposed to be mentally, and he just loves to play, and he loves basketball. Any chance he gets, he'll take it. And I mean, based on that, do you think he should just go ahead and sit out a little bit longer until he feels that way, or do you think playing is going to help him get back in mentally?
I think.
I mean, you've played injured before. What do you feel?
Yeah. I mean, I would still play, obviously. I think that it just gives you more confidence. It just is more fun to run in a game than to run a track or at practice. So even if it's just for conditioning purposes for, however many minutes, I'm excited that he's playing. And I think mentally it will help him as long as he stays healthy. But, I don't think that the coach or the doctors or the trainers or anybody would release him if they didn't think that he would be okay. So that's kind of.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I say you play him. I mean, it sucks that you're still dealing with the mental issues or physical issues, whatever it may be. But at the same time, with, as you said, 5-6 games left until we get to playoff times, I mean, there's nothing better for an NBA simulation than playing in the NBA. And obviously, he's a MVP candidate at all times. Obviously, not right now, but he won the MVP last year. He's an outstanding player. But at the same time, you're on the brink of the 8 seed. You're pushing at the very bottom of where you need to be, and not saying it's going to hurt them because they're still 5 games ahead of what the 9 seed is in the Chicago Bulls. But at the same time, do you just sit there and be like, all right, we'll be happy with the 8 and play a playing game and hope that we can? I don't know. It's tough. It's definitely tough. And Embiid, you obviously know, is going to come in and help you. And even if he is mentally having issues right now, he is a once in a generational life talent. And so I say you get him in there and get him some minutes, even if it's limited minutes, just to make sure that, you at least have him back in your roster. Because with my opinionated, I would definitely say Tyrese Maxey can't bring you an NBA championship, not by himself. I don't think they have all the pieces without Joel Embiid to go around win an NBA title right now. And so if they want a chance at a promising future, I think you bring the best player on your team back in.
It's like the old track phones, unlimited nights and weekends out of Embiid right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well said. Well said. I like that. I agree. I'm in agreement right there. That well put. And well, next up we go ahead and talk soccer, and we'll talk NWSL and the Current. Finished the month of March with a perfect 3-0 record. They are at the top of the table. I got a chance to catch up with rookie Claire Hutton, and we talked on her journey thus far. Brought to you by Ghetto's Tacos. Yeah, go check them out at Food Truck Friday in Carthage this weekend. But here's the interview. And we bring in rookie Current midfielder Claire Hutton. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How about you?
Well, as we kind of talked about there a little bit and ready for the weekend for sure, education is fun. And I mean, I'd rather honestly be out there conditioning for soccer if I'm going to be honest on that. So,
Yeah, there's no place I'd rather be. So,
well, let's go ahead and talk a little soccer and we'll talk you here and talk your signing. You signed a contract with the Current last December at age 17. What was that moment like for you? And what was the first thing you did after you left the front office there?
I think the whole moment for me just was surreal. I think still it's a little bit surreal. Um, I never really thought I'd be signing a contract as a youth player and bypassing college. So, getting the opportunity to do that, because there aren't that many kids in the country who have that chance, is truly amazing. And when I left that front office, the first thing I did was give my parents a hug because they know how much I've gone through to get to this point and know how much it means to me. So just being able to be there with them and for them to experience that with me too was just something I will never be able to forget.
It's awesome. And I mean, current fans aren't forgetting you either because they're really excited that you're out there. But here's some reason why, and we'll give a little background. But yeah, I mean, you grew up in Bethlehem, New York. You played club soccer, then you went to the ECNL as you earned all conference honors from 2020 to 2023. You also played varsity soccer in seventh grade, and I mean, that's pretty cool. Like that's not very heard of, at least in the Midwest, in my opinion. I haven't really ever heard that around here, but that's awesome. That's a great accomplishment. And then on top of that, you got to win titles and you set school records in your eighth grade year with 36 goals. I mean, that's super awesome also. And then you become a starter on the boys varsity team. Then you play on the national team. And I mean, the list goes on. That's an awesome resume already. And again, current fans are pretty much raving about you from around what I've heard on social media and outside Kansas City when I'm up there. Cause I had a lot of people telling me that they're really excited to watch you play as well as Piper. And I mean, it's awesome. And, but how has all that helped you prepare for the professional stage?
I would say in a lot of different ways it's helped me. Like first, obviously, everything I've done kind of has been a stepping stone. And for me, the biggest thing is always to find that next piece that I can kind of build up into.
Yeah.
So like starting like with my local club team, played on Alley Cats, which was just kind of like a local team. And then I moved then to the ECNL team called World Class, which was then 2 hours away from me. So it was a bit of a commitment having to drive there back and forth practice games, all of that, and I couldn't do it without my parents. So that was kind of just my next stepping stone, knowing that I need to find that um like another way to get to the next level. And then same thing with the varsity teams. I started on the girls team and I wasn't gonna end up playing just because it was hard with like national team commitments and things like that. And
Yeah.
then the opportunity to play with the boys team came up. So then there too was just another opportunity to keep bettering myself and like mastering my craft and all that. So I think just finding new ways and having all those opportunities present themselves to continue getting better just kept me hungry and wanting more. So then that prepared me for here because I knew that as I keep climbing, like obviously I need more challenging steps and this is the most challenging step I can get. So it made sure I was ready for that next step and I was prepared to be uncomfortable and not be not take the organic route, like make it
Yeah.
myself. So, I don't know, I think that in one way helped me and prepared me. And another way, just all those different steps is meeting new people and creating so many relationships with people that you never thought you'd be able to meet. So I've met people all over the country playing for the national team, playing on the boys' high school team. Like I met so many other kids through there, and then even traveling down to my club team in New York City. Just so many different relationships I was able to meet that got me the position here because you never know like who's going to help you along your journey. And that was one of the biggest things for me, just kind of keeping those relationships and seeing how they built onto each other. And then the people I knew other people, and it just all ended up working out.
That's awesome. And I mean, you mentioned all that. What's been the biggest difference for you as you transition from high school's national team competition to U.S. women's professional soccer?
Obviously the age. I think that's obviously the biggest thing. You have so many players who are so experienced, and on one hand, it comes down to like the little details. And obviously, me along with a lot of the other younger players, we've mastered a lot of the technical abilities, but so has everybody else in the field. And when we are younger, that's what set us apart because not a lot of younger players mastered the little things.
Yeah.
So what set me along with Pfeiffer and all those other young players in the league is our technical abilities. And then you get to now the NWSL and everybody did that. That's why everybody else is here. So then it just kind of comes down to experience and then understanding of the game. And what's pretty cool is I get to play with players who have double the experience as me, double the age as me. So it's just being able to take what they have and then putting it into my game, which is pretty extraordinary because I've learned so much in the 3 months I've been here.
That's awesome. All right, next I want to talk your first game day, opening day at CPKC. What was that moment like for you to finally get to see everything come to fruition for the team and what I mean, really the sport in general and women's side and everything there? What went through your mind as you made the opening day roster also? Because I mean, that was pretty big feat for you there.
Yeah, I think again, the word I'd use was surreal. The feeling when I was walking out and had the jersey on and everything, I've said it in a couple of interviews already. It felt like I was in FIFA. It just didn't feel real. As the fireworks are going off, I'm holding the hands of the kids who walk out with us. Like it's just stuff I've seen on TV a million times and have dreamed of, and it finally happened.
Yeah.
And then just kind of outside of myself, just for the women's sports and younger girls themselves, being able to be in that position to show that it's possible was pretty amazing. And just even talking to some of the kids after the game and like signing jerseys and signing scarves and shirts, it's pretty cool because I'm asking like, oh, what's your name? How old are you? And they tell me, and I'm like, just keep working, like you could be here one day.
Yeah.
And what's actually funny is I have a picture of me and AD Franch, who's our goalkeeper. It was in 2013. I had to be like 7 years old, and she was on New York Flash. And it was her rookie season. I have a picture of me like smiling in front of her, like getting her signature. And the first time I met her, I was talking to her like about it, and she was telling me about like her time in the NWSL. And I was like, oh my gosh, like maybe you were in one of those pictures I took. So my mom sent me all the pictures, and she was in it. So it's pretty crazy because one of the girls I'm signing for now, I could be their teammate one day.
That is crazy. I mean, that's also awesome to see how well it's progressed too. I
Hmm.
mean, that that's a cool story. Like, that's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, you mentioned that and being teammates, and we'll go ahead and talk teammates. You're loaded with talent. Who's been your go-to person since day one for you to try and get to know and pick their brain as you've come along?
Yeah, I definitely would say 80's one of them. She's probably one of the older players that I got to know first. And she has so much experience and knowledge of the game that for me, it's just really nice to be able to talk to her and like learn stuff on the field, but even just off the field. And she'll tell me about the history of the league and stories about herself, which help
Yeah.
me. And I think like a big part of it is not only like on the field stuff, but off the field, living how you live, like how you interact with people off. And that's kind of a big part of her is how she interacts and cares for people off the field. So that's something I take um, a lot of respect in for her. I think also other midfielders like Lowe and Vanessa, they give me so much feedback on the field, which I appreciate because as like only 3 games in, like there's definitely times I've messed up on the field, but they will look at me and be like, hey, next one, like good try, like or something good will happen and they'll make sure I know just to know that even when bad things happen, like there's still a handful of good coming out of it. So there's so many players I appreciate, but it's just pretty extraordinary getting to be on the field with every single one of them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, now we go ahead and talk the 3-0 start. How big has it been for you all to go into the first break of the season with a 3-0 record and to be at top of the table?
On one hand, it's awesome. It shows that we're not here to mess around. We have the stadium, but we're not letting that become a distraction to us. We're letting that help us to now take these next steps. And I'm honestly hoping that we get named like the team that's hardest to play away against. Because if teams come to our stadium, we want them nervous. We don't want them going there and being like, oh, like it'll be fun. Like we want them to hate playing at our stadium because like our fans will be our fans and nothing else. So I think that's great. But I also think we have a lot to do. Like it's a long season. Blacko said it in his own interviews. We have, I think, 26 games in the regular season, only
Yeah.
3 in. So we have a long way to go. But I think setting the standard here is good. But if we're gonna get complacent like this, then there's no point in a 3-0 start. We need
Yeah.
to finish like that too.
Well said. Well said. And here, go a little off script for you. Name some of those distractions. Go ahead and get more of Patrick Mahomes in there, and then go ahead and bring in some more Eric Stone Street. Try to get Jason Sudeikis to come out there and like do his, I don't know, Ted Lasso impression or something. Get the other team kind of like, oh, cool, we got starstruck, and then go get those goals. Yeah,
No, we'll
like
put T Swift in their locker room or something, and they'll come out all starry-eyed and won't know what hit them when we come out.
there you go, there you go. It's there, it's there.
Yeah, the idea is we just gotta make them happen.
And on that, what's the mindset as you guys get the extra week to prepare for the next matchup against Gotham FC?
I think it's just making sure we're all on the same page. Like for me, as this is my first season, like those 3 weeks were pretty tough. Playing 3 professional games was a lot.
Yeah,
And getting this time is nice because it just kind of gets my legs back under me, as well as the team, because I know there's some players that just kind of need a second, like me being one of them. So it's nice for that. And then also some of the players who didn't play, just kind of getting us all on the same page going into this next block of games. Just a good little reset, make sure we're not too high on our horse. So when the next game at Gotham comes around, we're ready to go again.
well said, well said. And all right, tough ones out of the way. You ready for some fun questions?
Yep, here we go.
All right, kind of a rapid fire. We'll get a timer going on our end, and yeah, well, here it is. And first one is going to be favorite city you've been to.
While playing.
Sure, while playing.
All right, San Diego.
Okay. All right. You catch those waves, yeah?
No, I didn't get to go to the beach, but
Okay.
yeah. Cool.
What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas? Easy.
Okay, okay. Outside of soccer, what's your favorite activity?
I do like a good beach read.
Okay,
Read on the beach. Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
So you're
by the
kind of
pool.
leaning towards the beach here. Okay, okay. And then who's been your toughest opponent thus far?
I think San Diego. They've given us a great game.
Okay, well said. Kansas City barbecue or New York pizza?
New York pizza all the way.
All right, maybe you should get some New York pizza in the stadium. I'd be for that.
I know, I'm still yet to find my New York pizza spot here. I need some recommendations.
Yeah, let me know when you find it too, because I don't really know either. So, and then Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Okay, okay. I'll let you have that one. I
Yeah,
like
it's a-
Ronaldo personally, but okay.
Alright.
Favorite NWSL player?
Temwa Chawinga. She's my girl.
All right, yeah, she's definitely a good one, that's for sure.
Yep.
And then favorite MLS player?
Messi. Of course. Easy.
All right, let's go other than Messi.
Other than Messi, I would say Busquets.
Okay, well done,
Yep.
well done. All right, well, we appreciate you coming on. Enjoy the rest of your time off, and look forward to seeing you play the next match.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Love that from them. Can't wait to see them back in action in a couple weeks. And yeah, moving on. Sporting is up next. They look to turn things around this last weekend. And as they came up with a huge 3-1 victory over Toronto, it was awesome on all sides of the ball. SKC played great defense in the second half. They looked more poised and determined than they have all season in that game, and they pretty much made a statement in that one. But they are now currently sitting in sixth on the table. They have 3 points out from first place, which is very different feel than a year ago. But they will host Portland this Sunday at 12:30. I'm excited for that one. I get to go to that one. It's going to be an energetic atmosphere. They return home yet again, and I mean, I'm ready to go. It's always electric, and I just can't say more than enough for them. But definitely good to see them back on track this season too, and hopefully they stay healthy and are able to continue to make a run deep into the playoffs this year. And on that note, we'll now head into the local sports update. Brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They are open at 1515 West 10th Street in Joplin. Go get one of Chef Mike's specials over there. And yeah, I mean, can't go wrong with his barbecue. Chef Mike is always cooking it up. And they're also one of our sponsor giveaways this week. And those will be announced later this afternoon. So yeah, be aware. And well, high school baseball, Joplin will take on Logan Rogersville tomorrow at 9 a.m., followed by West Plains after. Webb City will head to Glendale tomorrow. Game is set for 11 a.m. CJ will continue to play in the Fort Scott tournament beginning today through tomorrow. And then tune in to the team social media account for times on that one, as those are going to fluctuate pretty well. Carthage will head to Monette today. They'll play at 4:30. Neosho will head to the Dan First Base Festival today through tomorrow. And, well, now we head into the 2-minute warning brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria. Not feeling like cooking this weekend? Go grab a chicken bacon ranch pizza this weekend, or whatever you're feeling. I mean, they've got quite a bit over there now. Lots of toppings. But before we get into the games of the weekend and Jonah gets us up to date on that, I got a chance to catch up with softball catcher, or excuse me, outfielder over at Southern, and Yazmin Vargas, and we talked the season at hand and some accomplishments she's had. Take a look. And we talk with Southern senior outfielder Yazmin Vargas. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, as we were kind of jabbering there a little bit, I'm ready for the end of the week. It's been a long one. I mean, for you guys too. I mean, practice is probably pretty interesting with the way the weather fluctuates around here. So
Oh yeah, most definitely. But we make it work. So
it's good. It's good. And well, go ahead and talk a little bit about last time we brought you in. We were talking about breaking records, and you said it was an honor and that there have been many great players before you, and it's exciting to see your name up there. And then fast forward a year now, and you currently have hit the leaderboard again, and this time you're in front of everybody, and you surpassed Abby Corbett, I believe is how you pronounce that one, and for all-time stolen bases with 108, which, man, 159 games, that's pretty impressive. And 54 games faster than Corbett, by the way, and she had 107 in 2018. So yeah, I mean, which made Lion history. So you currently have 120 stolen bases with 3 on the season thus far. Or I think I put that wrong, but yeah, by the time the season ends, I'm sure it will be even higher. How does it feel to hold a few of those records now instead of just being close to those records?
honestly, like I said before, it's been an honor just to have my name in the books. Like I said, there's just been a lot of people before me who have made this program into what it is, and for my name to be up there, it was definitely a very bittersweet feeling for me. I felt like I was kind of living my little girl's dream because you always dream of playing college sports. You always dream about playing at the collegiate level. So I think in that moment, it was just very bittersweet. I had tears in my eyes, it really just a lot of emotions and a lot of gratitude for sure, just because there's no way I am where I am without my teammates or my coaches. So it was truly an honor, and it was very bittersweet. So
Awesome. Well said. And that makes this next one a little bit more special for you, because not only is it a record, but it's by a former teammate that you had last year. You played with her for quite a while, and now a coach of yours, and that was Josie Topai for Missouri Southern, for those out there who did not know that. And yeah, all-time runs record with 148 runs in 161 games. And yeah, I mean, 48 games faster than Josie. So I'm sure. Did you give her a little? Did you give her a little heck for that, or?
Well, actually, so when she was sick that day, so she wasn't
Oh,
able to make it to the game.
wow.
But, I mean, right before the game, I think Jonah had mentioned it to me, and I was like, "No way!" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, Josie." But yeah, like I said before, it's just like the reason I'm here and the reason I'm able to do that is because of my teammates. And I couldn't tell you how many times she was the reason I scored. And like I said, I'm not able to do that without my teammates. And she's definitely the reason I'm up there. And I'm like, man, I didn't want to take that. But she's just like, she's been a great player, great coach to me throughout my years here. And she's definitely been a role model for me. So it was just very bittersweet. I gave her a big hug and she sent me a sweet text. And you know, it's cool to see, and it's awesome just that she was so excited for me. And like I said before, there's just no way it's possible without her. So
Yeah. Awesome. And that, I mean, I was thinking of that whenever I heard it on the radio, and I'm just like, that's got to be an awesome moment. And I mean, I didn't know that Josie wasn't there. So that's
yeah.
even cooler that she got to text you. But now I feel kind of bad for her because she wasn't able to see it. So,
Yeah, she was sick. I think she had bronchitis that day or that
wow.
week, and I was like, "No!" And then when Jonah told me, I was like, "Oh, it's she's not here. She's sick." So it
Yeah,
was, yeah. But I was glad that I was able to do that, and like I said, it's just not possible without her. So
absolutely. And well, last time we also talked your guys' successful season last year. I mean, it's crazy that it's almost a year to the day that you guys are back at it. 29-10 this season so far. You lost a couple of the tone setters in Withers, Lacey, and Williams last year. How have you guys been able to stay successful despite some of the key players being gone?
I mean, we have great players who have stepped up tremendously. I mean, we have I mean, we're a great group of girls. We work our butts off. Like this team is very special just because, like I said, we just work. We like to work. We're competitive. And I think when you lose those kind of people, it's very hard. But I think these girls have definitely stepped up and have done their job and done exactly what they needed to do. And it's definitely helped us out in so many ways. And that's the reason it's just being so successful. It's just a lot of girls stepped up and they're doing exactly what they need to do. So
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. And kind of feeding off that, last year, you all got something special that came out of the season. That was to host some postseason softball. What's this year's mindset as the regular season is coming to an end? Is it to get back to that point or to get further than that this year?
yeah, no, I think the ultimate goal right now is just to be better than we were the day before. That's our biggest thing, and that's been our biggest goal and motto this year is just making sure we're getting better every single day. And the ultimate goal, of course, is just to get that natty ring. But we're taking it day by day, and I think if we focus too much on the future, is kind of where we get to just a lot of pressure. So taking it day by day and just wanting to be better every single day has been our biggest goal. So.
Awesome. Next up, you guys get to take on Pitt State this weekend. The rivalry continues, and last year's matchup, it lived up to the hype. And this year, a little more hype as y'all are fighting for that 3 seed this weekend. How do you prepare for a team who's cranking it out on all cylinders at this point in the season? I mean, kind of almost the same energy as you guys have, to be honest. And it's been quite a while since both teams have really been competitive, probably since I Katie Gray's, is it his uncle or her uncle that is Coach
Mhm.
Gray that was there?
Yes.
I think that's the last
Yeah.
time I remember personally seeing a very competitive team, and it's fun. So we're excited.
It is. Oh yeah, and we're excited as well. I mean, it's definitely bigger than us. I mean, it's Southern versus Pitt, so it's a really big rivalry. But like I said before, it's we're going into this weekend as looking to get better. I mean, it's going to be tough, and their Pitt is having a great year,
Yeah.
and they're very competitive. So we're going in there just as looking at it as like another road game, and we're just wanting to get better, and we're ready for the challenge, and we're ready to step into pit and show them what Southern softball is. So we're super excited.
Awesome. Well said. Well said. And last one for you here, kind of a fun one to end it on. And what is the funniest thing that's happened to you on the diamond in your career?
The funniest would probably have to be, I would want to say, we were actually playing Emporia, high school year, and I completely wiped out on first base, and just full wipe out, and somehow the ball got past me. I got up, pretty much did a burpee, ran all the way to second, all the way to third, and I still ended up tripping at third, but I was safe somehow, and I had a lot of tumbles during that time. So I think looking back is probably one of the funniest moments I've had, just because I'm like, how do you even do that? How do you trip 2 times going to a whole bunch of different bases? So that's probably definitely been my funniest moment.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on all the accolades, and that is a pretty good moment. I mean, that's probably one that you're going to remember for sure. So, but yeah, hope you guys
100%.
have a good game this weekend. Two game series there, and yeah, good luck.
Yes. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Great stuff from her, and can't wait for this weekend. And speaking of that, what do we got lined up for the Lions? Softball, baseball, and whatever else you can throw at us here. What do we got this weekend, Jonah?
Well, I mean, both teams are just having an outstanding start to their season. And as expected, I mean, as projected by both teams, you saw that in preseason stats that we were going to see some good baseball and softball coming out of Missouri Southern. And they haven't upset anybody, first, definitely. I mean, you've got some powerhouses in both conferences that, are going to be challenging for Missouri Southern, whether that be Central Missouri in baseball, or for softball, you have the Roger State, who just seems unbeatable at this moment, and Pittsburgh State, who, speaking of which, we play this Saturday. And so that's going to be an outstanding game. And if you can make it out to Pittsburgh State, I mean, you want to watch some good softball, that's where you got to go, is Pittsburgh State this weekend. It's going to be electric, most definitely a good doubleheader coming at 1 and 3 on Saturday. But I mean, speaking of Yaz having just an outstanding season, of course, as y'all talked about, the stolen base record, the runs record. I mean, the girl is. I talked to a director of athletic communications, and I was talking with him. And I was like, dude, if that girl trained, she could probably run a 4.5 40. Like, no lie, that girl is lightning fast. Like, she can slap it, bunt it. It don't matter. She will get to first base before you can get that throw off, before the ball leaves your hand. She is lightning fast. But not only that, she's great at what she does and getting on bat. She knows how to get the ball over there down on third base. She doesn't have to go for a double, because you're not getting her out if it's on the left side of the field. It's just, she is an outstanding talent. But then
even bunting.
Oh, dude, she's incredible. And that's why she's a perfect. I mean, the lineup card that they give me every day is it's a great lineup. I mean, you have an outstanding lineup in Kylie Jacks. You follow that up with one of the best talents in MIAA right now in Yazmin Vargas. And then follow that up with Taylor Knuckles, who has 3 walk-offs at Missouri Southern at home this year. So
very impressive.
She's been outstanding. I mean, her numbers have been absolutely outstanding. She leads the Lions with a 408 batting average right now. I mean, she has the most hits on the team with 40. Like, she's been having an outstanding season for the Lions. And I mean, what else can you say? Like I said, every time I was talking to the radio, because we had radio at the game against Fort Hays State on this previous Friday. And she came up to bat in the second game, because we had both close games, but it was in the 8th inning. It was a tie ball game, and we had somebody on second base, and Taylor came up to bat. And I literally told him, I said, the last doubleheader we had here, she walked off both games. Sure enough, she comes up to bat, walks it off. She is outstanding. I mean, there's nothing you can say about that softball team. Whether they're first place, third place in the conference, obviously right now receiving votes nationally. It's gonna be they're gonna be a dog that you don't want to see come MIAA conference season, especially when coming regionals. I mean, whether we get to host or not is in the air, but that team's gonna be electric, and they're picking up stride and seeming to get better and better and better. I mean, we're coming off of 2 sweeps against UNK and Fort Hays State, which both of their records are about 500, and those are not easy teams to beat. I
No.
mean, I talked with Cody Barham, who's the assistant coach at softball, and he told me that that's a scrappy team. Both of those teams are scrappy teams, and they can pull off a win against anybody if
Yeah.
if things are going their way. But I mean, transitioning into baseball, what else can you say about the number 9 team in the country right now? I mean, they are electric when it comes to the offensive end of baseball. They seem to put the most insane runs together, like just hit after hit after hit. When you need them in the clutch, they got you. You've got Henry Kuziak, who's almost got every record in the
Goose.
record book. Yeah, Kuz almost has every record in the record book going, and he's coming up on another one. I'm pretty sure it's RBIs, or I don't even know at this point. He's got way too many. I can't even remember all the ones.
Matt Miller, I'm sorry, bud. He
He's
came
out.
up strong, and it's a good thing, though.
He's outstanding, and Coach Darnell loves him. I mean, he's an outstanding shortstop, and I mean, to be in the MIAA, which has some outstanding baseball teams, and to still be batting .412, it's his numbers are insane. Leads the team in home runs, leads the team in batting average, leads the team in runs, leads the team in hits, and this is the number 9 team of the country. It's not easy to do that, and then you've got, of course, a lot of great talent around him. You've got an outstanding local pitcher in Cole. I mean, this team is shaping up to be something special. Of course, when it comes to the end of the year, we're playing UCM. That's going to be a big series to look at, but I mean, I don't see any slowing down in that team. It's electric. And just one more piece on Missouri Southern. I mean, golf coming up. I mean, we're coming up on the last. Yeah, we're coming up on the last tournament before we get into MIAA conference play and then regional play. And this team is looking really nice. I mean, last week we had the women's take 1 through 6 individually, which how does that never happen? That's never happened before.
Nope.
And they're doing outstanding. The men's team has been doing great. We're second in the MIAA in the men's side, and we have the second best individual right now, Luis Limon. I mean, we've got some talent coming out there, and Coach Wheeler, as he's announced he's retiring, so we've a lot of stuff going for him.
Well said, and music is here. So is the end of another episode, and make sure you catch all those this weekend because there's a lot of sports going on still. I mean, locally, you got college, you got high school, and then all the Little League stuff. I can't wait until we get Webb City Little League going again this year because I've heard they've got a really good team going. So maybe they'll go back to Williamsport. Not sure. We'll see. But for Tony, Jensen, Clint, Jonah, and myself, have a great weekend. Make sure you get some Ghetto's Taco Shop this weekend before your games. Fridays, tonight, 10% off your burritos. And if you can't get in tonight or go out in Carthage at Food Truck Friday, make sure you grab a breakfast burrito tomorrow or over the course of the week. But good luck. Thanks for joining us, and guys, have a good weekend.